guys, ready to go on vacation with us? Where are we headed?
We're headed
to Deception Island.
Yes, that place.
You didn't know where we were headed, did you?
Yes, I did.
So anyway, we're headed to Deception Island to have a famous bowl of Hot Kettle Cafe's clam chowder because, as all of us know from playing Danger at Deception Island and making Nancy eat bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl of clam chowder, and I mean other stuff too, but clam chowder, I really started wanting some clam chowder. So today we're gonna walk you through how to make your own at home if you're kind of stuck and can't make it up to Deception Island for the weekend. And let's get started. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take a tablespoon of butter and melt it in a small pot.
I'm gonna show them this, even though it never focuses, honestly. This is the beautiful recipe.
So we've got our tablespoon of butter. We're gonna melt this over medium heat.
Medium heat, everybody.
And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna take about half of an onion. We're gonna throw that in there.
Toss those onions in.
And one small carrot diced up and one small stalk of celery diced up. We're gonna put that in there too.
Ooh, I can smell it cooking already.
It hasn't even heated yet.
I can smell the burner.
She can smell the burner. Okay. So this is gonna take a minute, but we're gonna just let the pan get nice and warm, and we're gonna cook it like this until the carrots start to get a little tender and the onions get nice and soft and translucent. So we're just gonna let these three things, well, four counting the butter, go together for a few minutes.
Look at that silhouette. Don't I look like it? I look just like it. I look just like Lacey Drew.
Our veggies are starting to look nice and soft. So this next step is optional, but if you want to, you can take one small little clove of garlic and mince that up and throw it in. I'm gonna do that because we love garlic in this house. But if you hate garlic, you don't have to put it in. If you do decide to use the garlic, you're gonna wanna let your veggies cook for about another minute after you put that in. So once your garlic's gone for a minute, you're gonna take, we're using 2 cans of clams for here. We're using clams that are packed in clam juice. So what we're gonna do right now is just drain the clam juice from these cans into the pot.
Okay.
And we're gonna save the clams for close to the end.
Woohoo! Clam juice.
Then we're gonna take some more clam juice because that's not quite enough liquid. So I'm just gonna do 2/3 of a cup total clam juice in addition to what we just drained off of the cans.
It's gonna be nice and chowdery. Oh my goodness. It smells so fishy.
Alright, then we have one small potato that we've diced up really small. We're gonna put that in there with our veggies and our liquid.
Don't burn yourself now. Don't burn yourself now.
And then we're gonna throw some herbs in there to give it some extra flavor. You don't have to add these herbs, but I do recommend it. You can put just a little bit of thyme, or you can put a bay leaf. I like a lot of flavor, so I'm gonna put a little bit of thyme and a bay leaf. And the amount of thyme isn't really precise. Maybe like about, if you're using dried, maybe no more than 1/4 teaspoon. You can do less than that, just like a dash.
Just a dash of thyme.
But I have fresh, so I'm using a little bit more. Then just because we want our liquid to have some extra flavor, I'm gonna put a teaspoon of chicken base powder. If you don't have this, but you can find like chicken bouillon cubes, you can do about, well, one would be a little strong. 2 teaspoons of this, it does about 1 cup of water, and 1 bouillon cube does about 1 cup of water. So if you only have the cubes, I would try to like break one of those in half and then put about half of that in there. It doesn't have to be precise, but we don't want the chicken flavor to overpower the clams. Yeah. So let's put about a teaspoon of that in there.
I was about to say the powder looks so cute, and that's kind of weird.
The powder looks so cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
My lumpy powder looks so cute.
Stop it.
And then we're just gonna throw some pepper in there.
That's enough.
What did you say?
Stop! In the name of the law.
You are not the law. So now I'm gonna cut this up to about medium-high, and when it starts to bubble, we're gonna cover it and cook it on a little bit lower of a temperature until the potatoes are soft. That's really just our goal right now, is to get our potatoes cooked through. So that's gonna take us a few minutes, and we will be right back once our potatoes are good to go. We brought our liquid to a bit of a boil. We cut it back to low heat, covered it, and we left it for about 7 minutes. And since our potatoes are so small, that's about the right amount of time. This is now nice and tender and ready for the next step. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take about 1/3 of a cup of cream. You can use half and half if you have it. You can use milk, but I would recommend using cream, or at least half and half if you can get your hands on it, just because it'll be a bit thicker and richer when you're done.
Yes.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2½ tablespoons of flour and whisk that into our cream.
Whisk away, my darling.
We want to do this before we put it in our hot liquid so it doesn't get all lumpy, because once we get those lumps in there, it'll be a pain to get out.
We'll have this little whisk.
And once you've got your flour and cream nicely blended, you're going to stir that into your soup mix.
That's it?
I think so. Let me see. Yep. Alright, so if you'll stir that while I drizzle this in, we're going to pour it in slowly so that it doesn't end up too thick or lumpy. And just slowly pour it in.
It's turning into a beautiful chowder.
And what this is going to do is it's going to make our chowder creamy, and the flour is going to help it thicken up and get really thick and wonderful.
I mean, it already looks pretty great.
Yes, but this is going to give it that white look that we really want.
I love chowder. I'm going to say that like a million times just for you. I love chowder.
And now we're going to let this cook for just a few more minutes. It can be uncovered now if we want to. We want it to thicken up. We're just going to cook it for another 2 or 3 minutes until the flour helps it thicken up nicely and you get that chowdery like level of creamy, rich wonderfulness going on here. I'm going to go ahead and measure out another 1/3 of a cup of cream for finishing up. Now, however thick you want to let this get is up to you. Once it looks about how thick you want it, you can go ahead and move on to the end, but you can also cook it a little bit longer, let some more of the liquid evaporate, let the flour thicken it a bit more. But really, this is only going to need probably about 3 to maybe 5 minutes max. And you can go ahead and take out your bay leaf at any point,
If you can get it.
it's very hot. So, yum, yum.
Today, guys, my outfit is inspired by my Shadow at the Water's Edge character, which is meant to look like me. So I tried to dress up like it.
So this week we have a challenge for you. Make sure that you have designed a character using the fashion app on Shadow at the Water's Edge. You can use one that you've already designed, you can design a new one, and then it's your turn to go and put together an outfit with things that you have at home to see how close you can look to your character that you've designed.
Yep.
And we'd love to hear about it in the comments. That's looking pretty good, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the clams that we saved from earlier, we're going to go ahead and dump them into the pot.
Because clams are the whole thing that makes the clam chowder.
Yeah, you can't have a clam chowder without clams, obviously. Then we're going to stir in our last 1/3 cup of cream, and what we're going to do now is just let it go for another minute or two just to make sure that the clams and the extra cream gets hot, and we're done at that point.
It's looking gorgeous.
How gorgeous.
So gorgeous. The perfection in a pot.
Perfection in a pot. My life motto. I just tried to put the flour in the fridge. I am not perfection in a pot. And while that's heating up the last bit, make sure you stay authentic to the game. Get yourself some saltines to go along with your chowder.
Is it ready? Is it ready?
It's starting to bubble again, so it should be hot now. Alright, so now all that's left to do is try it.
You get to eat it.
We get to eat it.
Here is a bowl of the chowder. Doesn't that look great? I mean, oh my goodness. smells pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, it smells amazing. It smells like clams in the ocean. And I love clams and the ocean.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy right now.
Mm. It's been a while since I've had chowder.
Is it worth it?
Yes. Oh my word.
So now you won't feel quite so hateful toward Nancy next time she eats 20 bowls of chowder and you don't get any, because you can make this in about 20-30 minutes at home.
So good.
You'll have to do this. You have to do this.
This is the best thing we've made.
Wow. This little chunk loves seafood more than anything in this world. Even me. More than me. How do you feel about that clam chowder, baby?
It's a little close for my liking.
You can get a taste maybe when we're done. Alright, go play, okay? So that's it for today's recipe. You can join us next time. We are going to be making just about what might possibly be the most iconic Nancy Drew game recipe, which is the Shadow Ranch cake. So join us for that. If you're afraid of missing out, you're welcome to hit the little bell icon so that you get a notification on your phone or your computer or whatever when we post it. But anyway, I cannot focus on the camera anymore. I want to focus solely and exclusively on this.
Yes.
So go buy some clams, make your own chowder, and
Perfect for a rainy
just
day.
leave me to my happy time.